Isaiah Turner was a man of unshakable resolve. In his early 50s, his calm demeanor was matched by a sharp intellect and an unyielding sense of justice. A former police officer, Isaiah had once been celebrated for his commitment to the law and his community. But after years of witnessing unchecked corruption and abuse of power, he had walked away, disillusioned by a system he could no longer stand by. Isaiah's decision to leave the force wasn't easy. He had tried to fight from within, reporting misconduct and advocating for reform. However, the entrenched culture of silence and protectionism thwarted his efforts. His breaking point came when his younger sister, Naomi, also a police officer, faced rampant discrimination. Despite being one of the most competent officers on the force, Naomi was repeatedly passed over for promotions and ostracized by her colleagues. When Isaiah confronted their superiors, his concerns were dismissed, leaving him feeling powerless. After leaving the force, Isaiah moved to the suburbs with his family, determined to lead a quieter life. But the stories of injustice and abuse within law enforcement continued to haunt him. 5 years later, an unexpected call changed everything. "We need you back," the city council member's voice had said. "Brookhaven's police department is in disarray. We're appointing you as the new chief of police." For the first time in years, Isaiah felt hope. This was his chance to make a difference, to tackle the systemic issues that had driven him away. Though the task was daunting, Isaiah knew he couldn't refuse. Across town, Jason Carter and Eric Webb were wrapping up their patrol. Jason, a 10-year veteran of the force, carried himself with an air of arrogance. To him, the badge was a tool to assert dominance. Eric, a younger officer, idolized Jason and eagerly followed his lead. Together, they had a reputation for targeting vulnerable individuals, stopping cars without cause, and intimidating citizens. That evening, as boredom set in during their patrol, they spotted an old, battered truck driving through their district. The driver, a middle-aged black man, didn't seem familiar. Jason smirked. "Looks like we've got ourselves some action," he said, flipping on the patrol car's lights. Eric grinned. "Let's see what his story is." The officers pulled the truck over abruptly, forcing it to swerve and scrape against the curb. As the vehicle came to a halt, the driver, Isaiah Turner, stepped out. His calm yet authoritative presence took the officers by surprise, but they quickly masked their unease. "Evening," Jason drawled, his hand resting near his holster. "What's a guy like you doing in a neighborhood like this?" Eric chuckled, leaning against the patrol car. "Or maybe you're lost. This truck doesn't exactly scream local." Isaiah studied the two officers. He could see through their mockery and intimidation. Though anger simmered beneath his composed exterior, he chose his words carefully. "I'm on my way home," Isaiah said evenly. "I'm not sure why you pulled me over, but I haven't broken any laws." Jason's smirk widened. "We'll decide that. Pop the trunk. Let's see what you're hiding." Isaiah remained still. "You have no probable cause to search my vehicle," he said calmly. Jason's demeanor shifted, his voice dripping with condescension. "Listen, buddy, you don't make the rules out here. We do." As Eric began rifling through Isaiah's belongings, tossing papers and a gym bag onto the ground, Isaiah's fists clenched at his sides. But instead of reacting, he looked Jason in the eye and said calmly, "You'll know who I am soon enough." The next morning, Brookhaven Police Department buzzed with excitement and curiosity. Officers gathered in the main hall, eager to meet their new chief. Among them were Jason and Eric, their cocky demeanor intact. "Hope the new guy doesn't try to micromanage us," Eric said, sipping his coffee. Jason chuckled. "Whoever it is, they'll learn quickly who runs things around here." When the doors opened and Isaiah Turner entered, silence fell over the room. Clad in a sharp uniform, his presence was commanding. As his gaze swept across the room, it landed briefly on Jason and Eric. Recognition flickered in their eyes, followed by panic. "No way," Eric whispered. "That's him." Jason's confidence wavered. "We're screwed." Isaiah took the podium, his voice resonating through the hall. "Good morning. I'm Isaiah Turner, your new chief of police. I am here with one goal: to rebuild trust between this department and the community we serve. Abuse of power, discrimination, and corruption will not be tolerated under my leadership." His words cut through the room like a blade. Honest officers felt a spark of hope, while others, like Jason and Eric, felt the weight of impending consequences. Later that day, Jason and Eric received a summons to Isaiah's office. The atmosphere was tense as they entered, their bravado replaced by nervousness. Isaiah sat behind his desk, a file open in front of him. "Sit," Isaiah instructed. His calm tone carried authority. The officers obeyed, avoiding eye contact. "I reviewed the patrol car footage from last night," Isaiah began, sliding photos and reports across the desk. "Your actions were not only unprofessional but also illegal. You abused your authority and violated a citizen's rights." Eric stammered, "Chief, we didn't know it was you." "If we had." Isaiah raised a hand, silencing him. "And if I hadn't been your new chief, would you have escalated the situation further? Would you have treated another citizen the same way, thinking no one would hold you accountable?" Jason tried to defend himself. "We were just doing our job." The vehicle looked suspicious. Isaiah's eyes hardened. "Your job is to protect and serve, not to intimidate and harass. Effective immediately, you are both suspended. Your badges and weapons are to be surrendered. This matter will be forwarded to the Oversight Committee." Isaiah wasted no time enacting reforms. He implemented mandatory ethics training, emphasizing accountability and respect. He established a community oversight committee to ensure transparency and rebuilt bridges with Brookhaven's residents through open forums and outreach programs. Under his leadership, reports of misconduct plummeted. Officers who had once been complacent began to reflect on their actions, inspired by Isaiah's integrity. The story of Jason and Eric served as a cautionary tale, a reminder that abuse of power would no longer be tolerated. Meanwhile, Jason and Eric's careers unraveled. Stripped of their positions, they struggled to find employment. Their reputations tarnished, they became symbols of the consequences of unchecked authority. Brookhaven's transformation was slow but steady. Residents began to trust the police again, thanks to Isaiah's relentless efforts. His vision of a force that protected rather than oppressed became a reality, one small step at a time. Isaiah's story wasn't just about holding individuals accountable. It was about systemic change and the courage to confront deep-rooted issues. Through perseverance and unwavering commitment, he showed that even a broken system could be mended with the right leadership. If you were in Isaiah's shoes, how would you handle these challenges? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next video.